The Battle of Lützen ended in a costly French victory. Napoleon's forces suffered around 20,000 casualties, while the coalition army lost approximately 15,000 men, including General Gerhard von Scharnhorst. Reflecting on the battle, Napoleon remarked, "These animals have learned something." Despite their defeat, the Allied forces retreated in good order, due to the French army's lack of cavalry for pursuit. As Napoleon advanced eastward, preparing for another confrontation, he sent Marshal Ney toward Berlin to pressure the Prussians into defending their capital and potentially split the Allied army. However, the coalition regrouped near Bautzen, positioning themselves close to the Austrian border in an effort to draw Austria into the war. Napoleon directed Ney to move south, while he focused on pinning down the coalition army. In 2 days of fierce fighting at Bautzen, the Allies fought with great determination. Marshal Ney's confusion over orders led to delays, preventing the French from encircling the Allies, though they managed to capture Bautzen on the first day. On the second day, the French launched heavy assaults, but Ney once again failed to cut off the coalition's retreat, allowing them to escape. The French suffered significant losses. During the pursuit, Grand Marshal of the Palace, General Giraud Duroc, was mortally wounded by a cannonball and died shortly after, leaving Napoleon deeply upset. Again, Napoleon's lack of cavalry prevented him from pursuing the retreating enemy. To make up for this, he dispatched Marshal Oudinot to capture Berlin. However, Oudinot suffered a defeat at Lucco at the hands of General von Bülow. Following the Battle of Bautzen, Napoleon agreed to a truce with the coalition, as requested by Austria. On June 2nd, this led to the signing of the Armistice of Pläswitz on June 4th. Reflecting on it later, Napoleon admitted that agreeing to the truce was a mistake. Napoleon accepted the truce primarily to rebuild his cavalry, which had been critical in preventing him from achieving decisive victories. Additionally, he hoped to use the time to secure Austria as an ally or at least neutral. In 1810, Napoleon had married Marie-Louise, the daughter of Austrian Emperor Francis I, making the emperor his father-in-law. However, Austrian Foreign Minister Clemens von Metternich had different intentions. Metternich sought to establish peace in Europe and restore a balance of power, which would weaken Napoleon without fully destroying him. This will prevent Russia from becoming too powerful. On June 26, 1813, Metternich met Napoleon in Dresden to negotiate terms for peace. Metternich's proposals included the return of Illyria to Austria, the repartition of Poland, and the dissolution of the Confederation of the Rhine, Napoleon's coalition of German states. However, Napoleon refused these terms, famously throwing his hat to the ground in a fit of rage. Metternich responded saying, "Peace and war lie in your Majesty's hands. Today, you can still make peace. Tomorrow, it may be too late." Napoleon replied, "I would rather face 1,000,000 men in the field than negotiate at the table." On August 12, 1813, Austria officially joined the Sixth Coalition and declared war on France. The Allied forces were now organized into 4 major armies: the Army of the North led by Crown Prince Karl John, the Army of Silesia, commanded by General Gebhard Leberecht von Blücher, famously known as Marshal Vorwärts, Marshal Forwards, the Russo-Prussian Reserve Army, under General Bennigsen, and the main force, the Army of Bohemia, commanded by the 3 Allied monarchs and Field Marshal Schwarzenberg. At Trachenberg, the Allies formed the Trachenberg Plan to defeat Napoleon by avoiding direct battle with him, and instead targeting his marshals, weakening his forces, while building an overwhelming army. On the other side, Napoleon managed to rebuild his cavalry, though it remained weak. Taking the initiative, he ordered Marshal Oudinot and the Army of Berlin to resume the advance on Berlin. Crown Prince Karl Johann considered retreating, but the Prussians urged him to stand and fight. On August 23rd, at Groß-Beeren, the Army of the North secured a stunning victory after intense fighting. At that time, Napoleon advanced toward General Blücher's army of Silesia, seeking a decisive battle. However, Blücher retreated. Soon after, Napoleon received reports from Marshal St-Cyr that the entire army of Bohemia was marching toward Dresden. Napoleon left Marshal MacDonald in command of the army of the Bobber, while he marched rapidly to Dresden, sending Van Damme's the First Corps with 50,000 men to cut off the Allies' retreat. Europe is on the brink of witnessing one of Napoleon's most brilliant and hard-fought victories.